Also, I put my microphone right here now.
Oh,
So it's
yeah?
right in front of my face.
That's great.
There's
You
mine.
think the darkness is your ally.
Well, before it used to be
I
like
was
way back in the
born with the
corner.
darkness.
That explains
But
why I
then
had
I
to
was-
bring you down.
Yeah. But now it's
uh,
just in front of my keyboard. But yeah.
nice. Yeah, Andrew's not here this week. He's working, but next week he's on his new schedule, so he'll be in. Hopefully, we'll be back to normal on our recording time for everything. Doing Overcooked next week because It Takes Two's ending this coming up week.
Oh no.
Yeah, so Overcooked's gonna take the place of that. And yeah, we're here. We've wasted a lot of money. I mean, kind of. Jason's wasted a lot of money. Not wasted, I guess. We have a Mandalorian poster in the living room now. That's Baby Yoda just looking up.
No, we have a
Oh,
Grogu
is it-
poster.
Is it a poster? Or is it like a display?
No, it's a big poster.
Oh,
Here,
big poster.
hold on.
I wouldn't say it's like a movie theater poster size, but it's like a little bit under.
I want to get a display for Ashley
A
with Baby Yoda.
Aw.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever finally watch that?
She's watched some of it.
You haven't?
I haven't watched it, no.
Gotcha. You watched? We finished The Boys last night. I forgot if you said you finished or you watched or finished The Boys finally.
Is there another season of it?
There's only 2. Look,
I
there's
think I've seen
Grogu.
both seasons. There's Grogu.
Thing is like almost half the size. It's about half the size of Jason.
It's a pretty nice size poster.
Yeah, I want to get another one that probably do Star Wars just to keep the unison together. But
Mm-hmm.
be cool to get a Boba, or not a Boba. Well, maybe a Boba, but get like a Mando on the other side of the wall. That's in our living room.
I see.
Once we get back in this house, we'll be doing a lot more filming out there and doing more stuff in our rooms and stuff. So that's why I like
Getting up to wacky antics and whatnot.
Yeah, we have an idea we haven't talked about on the channel yet, and I hate that you can't be a part of it, Kevin. But you know those like science and discovery things you get at Walmart or like Michael's that are craft things too.
Oh yeah.
I want to get those, build them, and then have like little like challenges with them, like see who can like if it's a robot thing, like have them fight. I was gonna get my brothers next year when they're back. There's these kits that you can make your own like Nerf guns essentially, but they're like made out of paper and stuff. And I wanted to get those, and then like, after we build them, have like a Nerf battle and film all of it. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to do like just something different because we're a kids kind of friendly channel. So do more kid stuff. I never got to build that stuff because as a kid I had erector sets and birdhouses to build. So
I was about to say, so I grew up on Connects and erector sets. Like,
dude, erector sets though. I want to get a box of them again just to have.
What's a
Erect-
erector set?
erector sets were insane. Erector sets were like these little metal construction kits
Yeah,
with like motors and pulleys and
that came
like
with it was all metal and it came with like screws and nuts and like Allen keys
Yeah.
and wrenches and everything.
just Google erector set, you'll see it.
My grandfather had his from when he was a kid, so like he mixed that with mine that I got over time during when I was a kid. So like we merged the 2
those.
sets. Yeah, those things are awesome.
Okay.
I want to build like dumb contraptions and just like do stuff with them. I don't know. But we have a lot to talk about this week. Before we did the podcast, I watched a lot more about Halo Infinite because this weekend they had their testing thing for like the multiplayer and stuff.
Dude, the bots.
Yeah, dude. From what I'm understanding, Halo Infinite, I read a whole like review on it. They're saying that it's basically Halo 3's multiplayer again, and like now 343 is getting the movements down correctly. They said a lot of it felt like if you're really into Apex, it kind of has that feel of Apex too. So like the grappling hook they mentioned a lot is like Pathfinder. I know you like Pathfinder, Jason. So
I like the mobility.
but you can like I watched a clip of someone throw a grenade at like a gravity hammer and had it launch across the map, and then they took the grappling hook and grabbed it out of the air, and then went on their merry way. I've been playing a lot of Halo Reach I probably put in about 12 to 15 hours.
All I
in Halo
know-
Reach.
All I know is that way too many people are gonna set their AI to light as red.
Oh
I
yeah,
am.
no, 100%.
I already am.
People who never got the reference until everybody freaked out online are gonna set their AI to light as red.
going to be the most used one. I hope they have like a poll of which ones everyone uses, and I hope that one is just like 100%. There's nothing else on the other ones. Because like Bungie always did stuff for Red versus Blue, and now like 343 is especially doing stuff again, which is cool. Like Griffball.
Well, they want the hype.
Yeah,
because they bombed so hard with everything else. They're like, okay, we gotta kind of make up for some of this.
And someone released a video on YouTube that's the new Halo theme music, and I probably sat there and listened to it for like an hour and a half last night. It's literally Halo Reach's music mixed with Halo 3's music. And so like it starts off with the ha ha ha, but it has like the do 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 do, the drums and everything from Reach, the bongos or whatever they were. And it's beautiful. It's like Halo 3 and Halo Reach had a child. And it's exciting. Andrew even said he might.
That log had a child.
Like everyone's saying 343 finally figured it out, because campaign's one thing.
Well, here's the thing. That's the thing. The campaign, I think, still needs to be good if they want to redeem anything.
I hope it is.
But I mean,
because Halo 5 was kind of a disgrace.
Yeah, but from everything we've seen so far, Halo 5 or Infinite is definitely a continuation, but it still feels like something that's going to be cool. But the multiplayer is probably where I'll be spending most of my time after we beat it and film it and stuff.
I just think they were way off base to try and use Cortana like that for 5. Like, it just... Like, I get the trope. I get where they were going. It's a thing people do. You miss the mark.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just do that to anybody and anything to make things interesting. You did not read the room.
Yeah. I think the people that did the best things in the world with AIs was Red versus Blue Revelation, like season 7 or so, when they had they actually had what's his name? I'm bad right now. My brain's dead. The guy that played Frodo, he actually Elijah Wood. He actually voiced one of the AIs in that show for Rooster Teeth. And like that, they had like one AI that like wanted to rule all the AIs. So like they had the one dude that didn't talk would go around and start like killing other Spartans that were these elite Spartans and taking their AIs from them. And it was like really well done. That's my favorite. That's my favorite arc. And yeah, I think 343 is like, hey, Rooster Teeth did cool stuff with AIs. Let's try to do something cool and weird with AIs. They didn't. We could just skip over Halo 5. Yeah.
No, they got it very wrong.
Halo 5's enjoyable. I mean, I played through it with Andrew. If you play it on easy, it's enjoyable. Legendary though,
it wasn't terrible fighting. I mean, it was a little overdone in certain spots. Some of the battles were a little weird.
Yeah.
The progression felt I can't even say what was wrong with the progression. It just didn't feel like it paced right.
Yeah.
But then the whole, like, the story itself, and like I said, you just way off base with what you could and couldn't do with those characters. You wanted one emotional reaction, and you just pissed everybody off instead.
Yeah.
Like Halo 4, as much as I dislike Halo 4 for going in a different direction, the ending with Cortana and Chief is still like in my brain. Like her touching Chief and saying, I've always wanted to do that. Like that was a good send off for the character. And seeing them.
Yeah, and then they ruined it.
They ruined it, but with the trailer they released, it looks like they like copied Cortana or made like a version of Cortana so she can come in and like talk to her and she'll think it's her rampancy or whatever.
Oh, I dropped my mic.
But
I hit my mic.
Like she says she deletes her and everything, and it looks like that this is how they're redoing Cortana, but in their own way, which is what they should have done. They should have destroyed her in 4 and gave him a newer AI that was like, you know, there was ways to do it.
Like her child.
Yeah. Yeah. But
but you can't rebuild Cortana. Like,
yeah. That's a cool thing they're doing.
It's not how they worked.
And that's the thing is like they're releasing trailers. The release date's been announced. It's October for Halo Infinite. And so like they've released these couple trailers, and they're kind of keeping you guessing, which is cool. But everyone's so excited for Infinite. Like they're really hoping that 343 really does what they're supposed to do with this. And so far, with multiplayer being the way it is, and most of the things I read were not about the multiplayer itself, but were about the movement and the Spartan itself. And they're saying it just felt like Halo 3. And like even the multiplayer, it wasn't open multiplayer, it was just people versus bots. And they were like, it's fun. And there's even like a gun range you can test weapons and stuff.
Yeah, that's actually kind of nice.
Yeah, the UI for everything looked good too. The start menu, I like that. You see your Spartan that you've made on the front screen, and when you get people in your team, you see all of them, kind of like Call of Duty, but done in a good way. And we've talked about how they got back their original writer from I think Halo 1 and 3 or Halo 1 and 2. So Halo hopefully is going in a good direction, and I'm excited to see it. Like I said, I put 15 hours this week in Reach.
I can tell you that Infinite has one thing going for it no matter what else happens.
Yeah.
I can pick up and throw a grunt.
Fair enough.
I'm still going to have some kind of fun.
Grunt baseball. I'm excited for it.
Dude, yeah.
I'm still going to have some kind of fun playing Infinite just because I'm going to be able to pick up a grunt and throw it at you.
What were you saying, Kevin? Said,
I forget. I had a good segue, and now it's gone.
Into what?
It's really a lot healthier to walk.
Because we're talking about like Halo Infinite's doing good. I was gonna say, it's not doing good.
Activision.
Blizzard. Activision. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they we talked
it was much better though.
We talked a little bit about it last week. But no, they more stuff has come out this last week about that.
About what?
Activision Blizzard.
Their harassment and mistreatment of employees, and sexual assault charges and stuff like that. Like, it is not good right now. Even Bungie.
A lot of people not playing their games right now.
Yeah,
a lot of people moving from WoW to Final Fantasy.
That's actually surprising because if you think about the WoW community, they're like diehard fans of WoW. They don't care about anything.
Yeah, but also like a lot of the original players, they've been just slowly losing them over the years anyway.
Well,
because they've gotten tired of the way that the game's been going.
Yeah, Destiny kind of it happened to Destiny a lot faster. Same thing.
Well, Destiny wasn't as big.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like one of the originals. It wasn't as rooted in what makes an MMO.
Yeah. I'm glad they got out of there, so they're not in this mess anymore. Bungie.
I feel like they lost their structure now that I'm really understanding like where Bungie went. I like as sucky as it was with Activision, they were still like the game was still doing well, and now that they've left Activision, like it's kind of not Destiny's not where it was.
I feel like they need time. One, I think Destiny 3 needs to be a thing. I think they might be able to fix stuff once that comes out because they don't have Activision on their neck.
Yeah. Because right now the title's still technically in Activision, under Activision's name if you look up Destiny 2. Yeah.
But I think I think people are stopping Call of Duty as playing Call of Duty. This is my theory. You know the game Splitgate?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
It's like, Halo it's been Portal? Blowing. Yeah, it's been blowing up lately to the point their servers can't keep up. And it happened right after this whole Activision stuff. I think Call of Duty players are looking for different shooters.
We should try that. It's a battle royale.
Splitgate? No.
Isn't it?
No, multiplayer.
Oh, we're playing it.
It's Halo Portal. Yeah, I enjoy it.
I heard it feels like Apex though, playstyle wise too.
I'll give it a shot.
Kind of.
Yeah, but that's now the third thing that you're just like, that's like Apex.
No, I'm going on. It's not what I'm thinking. It's what
it's not really review. Apex at all, because it's like not really... Yeah. There's no power-ups, really.
There were... Yeah.
It's more Halo than anything.
The only reason I'm saying it is because that's the reviews of, like, those are what people have said. Like, both games felt like Apex. Apex feels like Apex.
Yes.
We should totally try that and do a 4-person online thing.
Yeah,
it's
really fun. I played it. It's the last time I played it. I played it.
What's it on? Steam?
It's on Steam.
Okay.
I played it about a year ago.
Oh, it's
back
been out
before
for
anyone even knew about it. It's been out for a while, yeah.
Huh. Did you hear about something that apparently like there's all these Andrew sent this to me. There's all these big game developers that are leaving their companies or were previous like super like in charge, like a couple people from Sony, Naughty Dog, EA, Call of Duty,
Naughty Dog,
Activision Blizzard, like the good ones left a while ago. Like they've been out of the company for a little bit. They're starting a new company called That's No Moon. And when Andrew sent it to me, I thought it was like a Star Wars, like it looked like a music album cover, their logo. And apparently this company's sole focus is single player games.
Yes, finally somebody.
Well, that's one of the things the head of the whole thing said. Maybe we might
actually get some freaking half decent playable story games again.
Because all those companies make like Naughty Dog and other ones. Jason?
Is he frozen? Or is he... No, he's frozen.
Yeah, so a lot of the people that left the company, Naughty Dog, I'm just pretending like it never happened. A lot of people that left the company, like Naughty Dog, they made single-player games, Jak and Daxter, they started Crash Bandicoot, technically. They did Uncharted, Last of Us, like all these big Sony-exclusive titles that are all single-player. And he came out and said that multiplayer is a big thing right now. Every game is focused on multiplayer. He goes, and that's great. He goes, but he says, I still feel like people think single-player games are dead. I still feel like there's a home for single-player games, and we want to bring that back out.
Yeah, there are, with the freaking gamers.
And like they're super, from what I read, their breakdown, they're super respectable. So far they have 40 people, and their big goal is they don't want to hire people that have been in the industry for a while. They want to hire college kids to actually give them a chance and show them. And a couple of them are from like Kojima and stuff like that. A couple of the big developers that own it too. And they're doing something that's a little different. So they're not going to like have the game out there and have everyone work on a section. They're going to piece it up by, if it's a mission thing, piece it up by mission. And everyone work on that, and they're not setting a release date. They're just going to work on the mission, and then what they'll do is, instead of it being like, oh, hey, we need to scramble together and, whatever we put out last, we have to fix to make it go. They're going to get everything done almost 100%, and whatever was too small or stupid or they didn't really want to, didn't work anymore, they cut it off and leave it.
Don't put in the game.
Which
like how they used to make games before they were able to fix them after release.
Yeah, so this, I mean, there's still going to be an update, I'm sure.
You know what happened? You know what happened if you released a game back in the day that didn't work? Nothing. You recalled it, you rebuilt the whole damn game, and then you sent it back out to the people that already paid you.
Yeah.
If you were lucky.
I mean, luckily
most
nowadays,
of the time, if you released a game that was broken, you flopped. Yeah. That was it.
Luckily nowadays, though, like even if there is a problem, they can still release an update, which is fine. People will download the update, this and that, but like just don't update it so often.
Yeah, no, but there's always a problem now.
Yeah,
like everything is always broken.
Well, and
it's ridiculous.
A lot of it is
to a certain degree, it is that things are massive and there's server loads and things, but there's numbers, there's math to this stuff. There's stuff you can figure out ahead of time that they're clearly not doing. Like there's huge oversights and things that just aren't being bothered with because why? We can fix it afterwards and we can get our money now.
Yeah.
It's asinine. Like it's ridiculous.
Well, one thing I could see as a problem, and the real reason like a lot of updates happen, is get your console games working as best you can. Those are probably going to be where like things can be pretty stationary, but the big problem is PC gaming. Everyone has such different configurations that once they get the game, an asset might not have loaded correctly because the GPU is different from a different GPU they use. So that's the big problem, is like an asset didn't load now because of the older graphics card, newer graphics card. And so they have to release a patch with, let's say they faulted the map in a spot because it doesn't load in their version of their computer. Now they have to release a patch with like a solid object there underground just to make sure they don't fall through. Like stuff like that is patch worthy, update worthy. But
yeah, but that's little stuff. That's not game breaking stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, when's the last time you saw a game that was released that was generally functional on release? that didn't spend at least 1 week completely broken while they scramble to figure out the things that should have been figured out before the game was released?
I haven't played anything new in a while.
Right.
So I can't answer that.
Well, no, but you hear them all the time. This game's coming up. The release is coming up. Everybody's so excited. The release is out. The game's broken. They'll be back to it in a week. Yeah. Like it's every freaking time. It's at least a week of absolutely unplayable game while they fix all the things. And you know what that should be? Open beta.
Yeah.
Like, don't fully release the game. Yeah. Open it up to testers. Open it up to a mass of testers or early access players with a disclaimer. Hey, it's going to be broken. That's what this is for. Don't actually release the game until you've broken the game so you can fix it.
I like it when they re-release like a game as like a remake or whatever, a remaster, and it's even more broken than the original. They did that with Silent Hills when they re-released those way back when.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, I'm noticing some
Silent Hill was the super foggy one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they re-released everything, and like all the spook and fog wasn't working anymore.
Yeah, nothing was working properly. Controls were broken. Cutscenes would crash the game. Audio was horrible. Like, jeez.
Well, and like that's one of the other things. Like game creation wise, that fog from the original stuff was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a massive load. Just keeping it functional. And like they compensated. PS1. It only rendered anything so far away, like just outside of what was visible through the fog. But that means when they redid it and the fog became so much thinner because they weren't, I guess, thinking about what they were doing, you could see the end of your render distance.
Well, they did. Silent Hill though was smart about it. That's why it worked on the old consoles. There was no render distance. It was just a camera angle. It was just a solid camera angle of a hallway, and you only could walk forward, backward, side to side. So they could do all this fog in that room and not have to load a bunch of assets because it's just a fixed camera on a specific spot. So, yeah, Silent Hill isn't
not the one.
Silent Hill.
There's more than one of them though.
There's like 3, right? Or 2.
There's a lot. There's like 1, 2, 3, and 4. You got Homecoming. You got the spin-off games of 1.
Yeah, I know they're working on a new one right now.
Point is they don't do things like they used to.
It's not going to be good.
Why not?
Silent Hills is what was going to happen, and then they canceled that.
That was the one with Norman Reedus, right?
Yeah, with PT and all that.
That was a whole beta or a little
demo of the game, yeah.
Yeah, and they just
it was a good horror game for a demo.
Yeah. I mean, like having a big actor like Norman Reedus too, like that was kind of big at the time. Wasn't there a fetus in that too? Wasn't that like where Norman Reedus' Amazing Fetus started?
In the sink.
Yeah.
But no, that's not where it started. That started for Death Stranding.
Well, Death Stranding came out like a long time after though.
Maybe. I don't know.
PT was like 2014.
You know
I think I was still in high school when I watched Markiplier and Jacksepticeye play PT.
Let's see. What did Game Grumps play? It 6 years ago.
Yeah, 2015-ish.
Because I remember watching that video on it after I played it.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Game Grumps lately, trying to take notes because I realized we're closer to them probably for certain things, especially like the watch-throughs. And I was like, hey, let's see what they do and how they interact with stuff. And
they all have great comedic timing.
Yeah, our problem is Discord.
Does anybody else hear the name Game Grumps as if it's being sung by Ewoks?
Grumps?
What?
Yup, nope.
No.
Like
no.
The celebrating Ewoks?
No.
You're the only one here, bud. You know what? We're not going to get a poster of Mando on that other wall. We're going to get a poster of an Ewok looking up at the sky. Even if I had to Photoshop an Ewok looking up at the sky and make it look just like the Grogu poster looking up the opposite direction.
I do want to get a printer that big so like I can make my own posters and stuff.
I mean, that's one thing we could probably do is turn search designs into posters.
No, I just want to make my own posters. I just want my posters. Like I just want to get a printer that big so that I can just constantly change the posters in the house and not worry about having to store and keep. I can just throw the old ones away because I've still got the file and I can print another one.
I feel like the ink on that would be...
Yeah, the ink on that would be insane.
Yeah. I don't know. When I buy posters, like I'm throwing out all the posters I bought at cons because I realized like they're not a style or something I want anymore. Like I was doing it to support.
I've still got my little ones that I've never had a place to hang up, and I really want to put them up.
That's why I want to get disc plates if I get any kind of wall art now.
Yeah.
Because metal magnetic posters are kind of cool.
I have 2 posters I'm gonna frame, and that's I thought I had it with me, but it's a Venom and it's of Spider-Man's eyes, but it's 2 separate posters, and in one eye you see Venom, and one eye you see Carnage, and the art style is like super really well done, like Jim Lee almost. I bought it at a con, one of the bigger booths where you flip through the book that he has, and I was like, I want these. He's like $10 for both, and I'm like, oh really? And I want to frame them and put them on a wall somewhere.
I don't know how I feel about the new Venom.
I saw the trailer today. I like it.
It looks good. I like Carnage. I love how they did his character, but
yeah,
compared to the first Venom, like I don't think it's gonna hold up. It might. I don't know.
I mean, it has to do better than the first one.
I feel like sequels are hard. You know,
when it's Marvel though, it's not that hard. Because like Spider-Man 2, the original one, people still rate that the best out of all of them. I don't like Spider-Man 2.
I'm excited to see Carnage.
You like Spider-Man 3 because you're a hipster and you can't agree with anybody.
Actually, Straw Hat Goofy says that's his third favorite movie.
Straw Hat Goofy? What?
He's a TikToker that is like actually really good into comics. He was saying other than the dance move, he goes, that movie had some of the best story. And he even said that if you watch the dance move and watch Spider-Man 2 when he loses his powers and walks down the street towards his school, it's the same exact stance he did.
I'm just imagining
not quite, but
I'm just imagining Goofy, but with like Luffy's powers and kind of attitude.
Just Gum Gum Fruit Luffy or Gum Gum Fruit Goofy.
Just
someone, if you're watching,
Yolk,
make it happen. Yep, sure, I'm the pirate cap. But no, the Venom. It's weird that they released that today. It's Spider-Man Day, by the way. It's a Spider-Man Day, and like people are upset that they're not releasing a teaser for the new Spider-Man this year. Because Spider-Man Day.
The new Spider-Man?
Yeah, No Way Home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's like normally.
Is that confirmed as the title?
Yeah, it's been confirmed for almost a year.
Is it confirmed that it's multiverse with the multiple Spideys?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Is it?
Yeah. Doctor Strange is the second main actor in that, or not the main actor, but yeah.
Yeah, but I thought they said there was no multi-Spidey scene. Or they weren't confirming it or whatever.
It's still in the air because they're trying to keep it under wraps, but a lot of the actors, like I don't think Andrew Garfield's in it, but Tobey Maguire recently came back into acting.
Yeah, I hope he's in it.
Yeah.
Favorite Spider-Man still.
I mean,
Tom Holland's really close though.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the main villains are Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin and Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2. So like,
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like Willem Dafoe's back, and the same actor that played what's his name? Doc Ock is also back. So,
Dr. Octagonopus.
Kind of makes sense.
Dr. Octagonopus.
Kind of makes sense that Toby's in it.
Yeah, I hope he's in it.
But I mean, we'll. I don't know though, because like with William Dafoe,
I hope it shows up at the dance scene from Spider-Man 3.
No, now everybody's just getting hopeful. With
I think it's just
multi.
But Marvel has done stuff in the past. Maybe they'll
Marvel has,
but I don't think they're gonna do it for No Way Home. Of course, they haven't denied it.
Yeah.
You can't just go, no, we're not doing that.
But they technically are. They are doing they are technically doing the multiverse Spider-Man by having the villains from both movies. Even Electro from they're changing his look and everything, but Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2 is even in this. So it's all the villains from the other movies in Tom Holland's universe now. Same actors and everything. So like it's definitely some kind of multiverse. So like even if it's a cameo of like Toby like coming around the corner or a picture of them, that's technically still multiverse Spider-Man. I do want them all to dance on the street together though in the end credit scene.
Of course.
Or point at each other.
I want them to point at each other.
Point at each other.
No, but out of costume. I just do like a cameo, and like they bump into each other or something. They just point at each other and then move on.
I mean, it's not against them to do either the dance scene or pointing at each other at the end credits. Because look at the end of Homecoming. Freaking Captain America comes back around the corner and is doing his like, man.
He gives you a whole speech about patience and how sometimes it doesn't really pay off.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, forget you too. He's just telling us we've wasted our time sitting here waiting for you to give us something entertaining.
Yeah, that's like many of the people watching the podcast right now.
We're wasting your time.
Yeah, welcome to the Waste Your Time graphically.
I just realized I'm a floating head again.
Yeah, you were.
I need lights.
I mean, I'd send you a light, but I'm not going to.
No, I'll buy a light.
I was just going to be really, really mean, and I'm kind of going to say it anyway. I was going to be like, it's okay, Kevin. We like you better as a disembodied floating head.
I don't, because it's hard to find your border. So, in other news, I don't think we talked about it, but did you guys hear about Disney getting sued by Scarlett Johansson and now Emma Stone?
Wait, for what?
Because in the contract, all the contracts, and I think the girl Emily Blunt in Jungle Cruise is also going to be suing Disney. In the contract, most of their income after their set pay is from box office income.
Yeah.
And there was no talk about putting these as Disney premiere movies. None of these movies were supposed to be premiere movies.
Oh, they're not being paid for the premiere income,
which is making more money than the movies are. So people are really, or they're both like all these girls, like Scarlett was Scarlett after Black Widow. She's suing Disney. Kevin Feige even pitched in and was like, "Yeah, Disney, that's kind of messed up." And like, Disney's like, "What? You want us to pay you more than the $20 million you made just to be in the movie?"
Yeah, I mean, if it's in a contract, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if they had put in the contract that whatever the movie makes as a sum, including Disney premiere, she'd be making bank. Because Disney premiere, like, it's $30 just to rent the movie. You think of it like this: it's $8 to get the movie ticket. One person seeing the movie alone, that's $8. One person seeing it alone at home, that's $30. You're making more money from just premiere. I just actually pulled up something by accident, but Jungle Cruise in the first week was $34 million in theaters, but $30 million on Disney Plus, and that's just the first week. It's going to go up on Disney Plus. Yeah, and people are probably going to rewatch it on Disney Plus because why would I go to a theater twice? I saw it in theaters once. I'm going to rent Black Widow again now just so I can watch it at home and break it down and pause it and do what I want to do. You know, properly get a review of it. Like, I think one of the first movies soon that's not doing a double release is Free Guy. Free Guy comes out on the 12th, and they're not doing a streaming release. They're doing strictly theater.
It's not only the actors that are flipping out on Disney. It's also, like, the theater companies and everybody that are like,
yeah, that's part of it.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, we've already been dying this year, and now you're giving us our movies back, but you're not?
Yeah,
kind of
like you release them for one day in some cases as theater exclusives, and then the next day they're accessible on your streaming service. Like, nobody's gonna come. Nobody's gonna come see us because they're still afraid. They're still at home. They're just gonna keep watching it on their streaming services.
Yeah.
They're going to wait an extra week until they can afford that $30 ticket and then watch it at home.
Okay, now he can't hear us.
Sorry, my ear got itchy and I slapped my...
But there's Free Guy, and then like a lot of the HBO ones though. HBO is not making you pay for it. Like you're paying for the subscription fee, but that's it. Like Suicide Squad that's coming out next week is going to be on HBO the same day as theaters. But all the stuff HBO's done still does really well in box office. I think it's because it's free at home.
Let's face it, the second Suicide Squad is not going to be a box office breaker. Like,
I don't know, man. The first one wasn't that good.
I was going to say, the first one was mediocre, and everybody's looking at the second one and going, that might be slightly better than the first one.
From like all the things I've heard, the second one's more hyped than the first one was.
I mean, I am excited to see the Invisible Man in something where he's got a little more lead.
But
it's a John Cena joke.
I know. We've made the joke. Many times. No. So this movie's more hyped mostly because of who's making it. James Gunn, who's made a lot of the better Marvel movies, and like, you know, he's still in Marvel. He's still doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But they're hyped because of him making it. On top of that, it's not a Suicide Squad 2. Everyone keeps thinking it's Suicide Squad 2. No, it's a new Suicide Squad. It's not. It's still continuing the story of like Harley Quinn and all these other characters, but it's not like, oh, you're back.
Is it continuing the timeline after the previous Suicide Squad?
Not from what I understand.
Is it rebooting the timeline from the previous Suicide Squad?
I think. I don't know. Like, there's not a lot said, but
is it in the same universe after the previous Suicide Squad?
I don't know. They're saying
if it's not. Then it's a second Suicide Squad.
Well, they're saying it's not though. That's
I don't care how you break it down. If it's in the same universe, in the same timeline after the previous one you made, it's a freaking sequel. You can call it whatever you want. That's how that works.
I don't know. Doesn't sound like a sequel. Because like they're doing
if it's like AU stuff where the characters are they're clearly the same actors. So if it's just like AU stuff where this is a completely separate universe from that one, it just happens to share the same characters because comic books. Okay, then it's not a sequel.
Yeah, hold on. The Suicide Squad isn't a sequel or a reboot.
Doesn't answer any of my questions. That just restates their insistence on a possibly incorrect.
That's what James Gunn said, and he's the one that made the movie. He said it's neither a sequel or a reboot. So it could be that they're just taking the characters and doing a new storyline with them. I don't know. We will find out when they release it. But it's all like normally when they do sequels, they'll do Suicide Squad 2 or this one's just called The Suicide Squad, and it actually has like more actors in it. They're doing, I mean, Nathan Fillion's in it. I'm excited about that.
What's Nathan Fillion in it?
I don't know what his character is. Some like F-list actor. Or not actor, but F-list superhero or villain, I mean. I can tell you who are Sylvester Stallone's in it. He plays King Shark.
Peacemaker. No.
Taika Waititi's in it. Dude, all the people from freaking Guardians of the Galaxy internet are in it. You got Michael Rooker in it. You got the dude that played Rocket and Michael Rooker's like sidekick that eventually puts the head on, the helmet on. Not the head, the arrow whistling power. I don't know I don't know who Nathan Fillion plays. They don't say his actor, and I'm not gonna look it up. But yeah, he's in it, and he plays some dumb looking character. But Jason and I have started watching Harley Quinn last week after we filmed the podcast the next day. and you want to talk about a show, it's definitely not okay for kids. We're not going to make movie not okay for kids. I'm just going to tell you flat out, it's not okay for kids.
It's not okay for kids.
It's not a kids animation movie that you guys should watch. It's great. Your kids can watch it when they're 28 because that's probably about the time.
28.
Yeah, specifically 28.
Why 28?
I'm 24 and I can't watch it. It's too big for me.
I won't let him. I'm 28 and that's why. That's where the age gap is.
Even though
so that I could watch it.
Yeah.
Finger will sneak out and watch it when Jason's not looking.
I watched like the first 10 episodes with
You're
him.
grounded, young man.
Yeah. Sat there, watched it with him, and he's like, hey, by the way, you're grounded. This episode's over. We watched 10 episodes. Yeah, I know.
And by grounded, I mean I'm going to take you into the backyard and bury you up to your neck.
And then put the show on in front of you while I watch it inside. It's definitely like, well, like it could be like that though, Jason, where like Suicide Squad could be like Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn, like this is a non-canon story. It's just taking characters from the Batman universe and like doing their own story with it. So maybe that's kind of like how Suicide Squad is going to be, where it's the story of the Suicide Squad, but it's non-canon. They just wanted to, keep it vamped and people still buying tickets for this and still buying merch, but in a funny way.
Of course, it's not a canon; it's a movie.
Yeah. Why can't you make invisible jokes like that, Jason? He's not even paying attention.
Is he frozen? No, he's not frozen.
He's not frozen.
I see his fan. There's a fan.
I see his eyes moving. He's zoned in. Are we quiet on your headphones, Jason?
Am I quiet now?
No!
I don't know what to say about that.
Yes.
What else is there this week?
Have I told?
I had stuff I wanted to talk about, but I couldn't because like
ugly.
PlayStation sold 10 million copies or 10 million things, which doesn't make sense because no one could freaking buy it, and apparently did better than PlayStation ever did. PlayStation 4.
Well, it's because there's people out there with 10 of them each trying to sell them for $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I am so tired of internet scalpers.
Mm-hmm.
Steam is doing stuff against that with their Steam Deck. They're doing a whole thing where like you actually have to sign up and you can only get
You can only get one.
Well, yeah. No, I want to do you remember, I think we both follow him. There was a guy on TikTok, and what he did is he took an advertisement picture, and he took a picture of the advertisement picture for what he wanted. And then he put it up for sale for the price of what it would be. And some scalper's bot snatched it up and ordered just a piece of paper.
Yeah,
that was the poster. And then he
tricked the bots into buying it.
He tricked the scalper's bot into buying the piece of paper, and then used the money to buy the the graphics card he needed.
Isn't that like illegal? I mean, I guess the bots are illegal.
No, it's not. They paid for it. And like he had his descriptors and his disclosures and everything in there, but he also triggered it with keywords and everything so that the bot picked up on what it was, didn't go through the extra processing of filtering through the stuff, snatched up the product before it could disappear, and bought something stupid. Yeah, I mean, scamming a scammer, especially when done right and done within bounds, like, absolutely.
Yeah. Makes me kind of want
It's like stealing from a thief. Like, what are you going to do about it?
Makes me.
You're going to call the cops and tell them that I stole your stolen objects?
I kind of want to take a picture of a graphics card now.
Oh, I've wanted to do it since I saw it, but it's not really that worth it.
Oh, Kevin, we got Andrew. Oh, Andrew's not here. Andrew, a big baller apparently.
Why?
So he bought it for me initially because of my computer, and it's still his, but for like the time being, I was gonna use it for like when we film Sea of Thieves and the new Halo. But he bought a Xbox Series S because they had them in stock at Walmart, and it was like the same price as the Xbox One is.
Mm-hmm.
So he bought it and was like, "Hey, I got you a gift." And I was like, "Oh, what's that?" He's like, didn't say anything. And like a couple hours later, he goes, "Dude, dude, there's so many Xboxes in my store." And I'm like, "Oh, he got me an Xbox. Great." No. So now it's in the living room until my computer starts dying again, and I have to use it. But it's been out in the living room, so I've been playing it like Halo Reach out there, like I said. And dude, it's so nice to play on an Xbox that like feels so good again. He also bought a car. He traded in his white Kia Soul that was a 2018 for a 2022 black cherry Kia Soul.
I see.
And he's only spending $40 more.
That's not bad, though.
So if you want to donate $40 to Andrew's cause, because apparently that $40 is hurting him. His car wasn't even broken. My dad gave him so much crap for it when he came in the house.
I drive my car until it dies. And I'm like, well.
I told Andrew, I'm like, if I can't buy a car with cash, even if it's cheap, I'm like, I don't want to buy a car because I don't want to have to pay monthly payments for something in case something comes up. I'm like, you can buy a decent car for $3,000 that can last you for a while, save some money, and buy yourself a nicer car out of cash. I mean, my aunt and uncle have like 6 cars.
I would only do it to build credit if I were to buy a car.
I drive a 1998 gold Grand Marquis, and including all of the work that I've done to it, I've still put less than $3,000 in that car.
I got a 1999 Park Avenue.
I got my feet. I spend $40 a year on shoes. Sometimes more when I want to make them feel good.
Well, you also got a bicycle.
I don't use that very often anymore.
You should use your bicycle.
I am fat and afraid of breaking it.
I
still have a broken rim that's not fully fixed yet.
I like to ride my bike.
Yeah, I still have a broken rim, and I'm still concerned. Like, it's not broken. It works, but I have to sit out there and tighten the spokes every now and then, and I don't feel like doing that every time I want to ride my bike.
I like to ride my bicycle. I like to ride my bike.
Apparently, some decent-sized YouTubers got their channel deleted.
Uh-oh.
Why?
Fell for a scam that looked 100% legit from YouTube. So, do you know who the Spiffing Brit is?
Sounds familiar.
He does like
familiar, yeah.
He does like those exploit videos on games for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he got his channel deleted from the same scam, and then I doubt you know who this.
What's the scam?
I will get to that. Jim Browning. I don't know if you know him. He takes down scammers.
This does not sound familiar, no.
Yeah. But the scam was like saying they had a duplicate AdSense account. So they needed to transfer their stuff to a blank account type of stuff. And the person had a legit Google account to send the email. But it essentially just forced them to delete their own channel.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I'll say this, if anything ever happens to our channel right now.
YouTube's got backups and stuff in case a server crashes.
They're all backed up now.
Okay. I was going to say, this probably didn't last too long before it was all restored. Or at least most of it was restored.
Yeah. If one person can figure out how to do it, I'm sure there's going to be others.
Yeah, but like I said, that's YouTube's got backups on backups. They got server backups on top of server backups to make sure that if any part of their system crashes, goes down, gets corrupted, they don't lose everybody's data.
Yeah. Except for when they this last week, like Andrew, it was like super bad for us in terms of like just anything to do with the channel. Like I thought like Google or the internet like banned the word redirected for a week.
Why?
Because our TikToks were doing really bad. Our Facebook posts were getting like zeros. Our Instagrams were zeros. Our videos were zeros. Like nothing was getting anything except for like anything. Even when I watched one of our videos just to check to see how it was, because there was a part I was worried about, it didn't show up as a view. And I was like, what is going on? And so like I looked into analytics and stuff, and like I started getting really concerned and like doing research on how to actually like do algorithm based things more. And like this was right after I changed the thumbnails, all the thumbnails to being what they are now, where it's custom made and stuff, where it's not just a screenshot and I traced and stuff.
You know what it was, man? It was the Illuminati doing their assessment of us to decide whether they were going to let us continue, man. Now they've decided where our placement is in the hierarchy, man. We're either going to blow up or we're just going to stable out where we are, because that's where they want us, man.
I hope we don't stable out where we are.
They control the birds.
The birds work for the bourgeoisie, don't you know?
But like, so I like legit. that's why I started watching Game Grumps stuff. I was like, okay, who's the two channels that I probably associate the most with? Game Grumps and Rooster Teeth. So I looked at both, kind of like found a medium and was like, okay. I'm like, I already do stuff my way, or our way, because I do the same thing for Andrew too. And I was like,
did it.
These work. Like, so how do I incorporate the new things and make them work in a better way? So as soon as I changed it I tried out in 2 videos, and the first one didn't do too well. It still got a view finally, but then I changed it on the next one, and that was like 11 views in 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I did it on the next video, and it was like, it was a little slower, but it did good again. I'm like, okay. So I did it again. Sure enough, really well. And the day we're filming this, really well. So I'm like, okay, good. I found the new algorithm update they did. That's what it is YouTube changed their algorithm so much that you have to adjust yourself to the algorithm. Like
the TikTok just did a whole new thing with their reporting system.
Yeah. Which, dude, our TikToks right now, I changed on that too. We went from like every video being around 160 views or 200 views to now everything has either 400 or 2,000 views.
Cool.
And like people are commenting. There's like 20 likes on almost every video. Like, guys, come to us. I'll put this as an ad because of this.
We're here.
Come to the link in bio. Come subscribe. Come say hi. We make content. You guys seem to like our content already. So like, why don't you actually like the content? We need help. We want to make more content. And if you get tired, if you think you're going to be tired, listen.
Content.
Just because we're a small channel and no one knows who we are, senpai, doesn't mean we don't have content. I have a list for you. It's called
you gotta do the TikTok things. You gotta boop the snoots and uwu.
We have content for you. We are either past it or we are at it. We have 400 videos for you to watch.
I can't. Oh, I hate you, brain. You play things on loop constantly in my head, and the moment I want one, you won't give it to me. I can't. The Bo Burnham song. The other one with the Daddy Made You Your Favorite. And I can't get the tune. Or most of the words.
Well, I'm not your daddy. None of us are. We're your bros.
Yeah, I interest you in stupid things.
Would you like a Mocha Choca Broca or Mocha Choca Choca? Because if you do, we can offer it. No, but seriously, like there's plenty of content out there. There's 400 videos almost, or is, for you to watch now. And
we have stairs. They lead to our basement, but we have stairs.
Don't go in Jason's house ever.
I don't have a basement. We live in the same house.
Don't go in Kevin's house.
In Florida, we don't have basements in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, there's a subfloor you can go under.
Not really.
Why would you want a floor made out of a sub?
When you get hungry?
It'd be all bready and the rats would eat it.
Because they wouldn't be in the house. They'd be like, oh, it's all underground.
No, they'd be eating the house.
Just the subfloor.
How did the witch that built her house out of the gingerbread not like just have it eaten by rats and squirrels? And
she was a witch.
She probably killed the things.
Yeah.
Oh, she also cooked them into stews. Got it.
That's like the thing we should all do is just cook, people into stews. That's why Andrew's not here.
That's terrible. That is terrible.
We made a fish stew because
you're going the wrong direction with this.
No, we made a fish stew. His name's Pilcher.
I make a subtle stairs basement joke, and you go, "Yeah, don't follow him down the stairs." And then, like, not 2 minutes later, you're talking about cooking people in the stew. You're not.
Just Andrew.
This is problematic.
No, it's not. That's not. That's not as bad as children to dispose of. When I look directly at the camera, it means I'm joking.
I still think that's one of your best flubs. So we have children to dispose of. No,
you weren't there, Kevin.
Can't.
Don't worry.
You can't say
look
that.
At his face. He's like, "Let me go, dude. If you could back away and like just turn into nothingness, that'd be awesome. But there's too much light.
I wish. Yeah.
just Homer Simpson going into the hedge.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna put a hedge behind you.
It's kind close,
and then just slowly fade his face out.
Just be careful though, because like if you lean too far back in your chair, you might fall down.
There he goes.
Where'd Kevin go? you just hear Kevin falls down. FBI, open up.
I wish I had my one unicorn mask. Would have put it on and just came back into frame.
That's right. Last week when we didn't have either of you guys here, I had to have a conversation with him wherever he is on the screen, because he kept saying things like, was Anakin really a slave? I mean, he wasn't treated that badly. I had to explain to him that slavery had nothing to do with how you were treated. It was the fact that you were owned by somebody. We went to Tate's today, and he points at an Anakin figure, and he goes, "There's the debatably slave Anakin." Like, no, that's still not how that works. He was owned by other sentient
I thought
beings.
that was pretty good. My first thought was, that's debatably a slave Anakin Skywalker.
No, he was absolutely, there is no debate, there is no question, there is no opinion in the matter. He was owned by other sentient beings. He was sold by other sentient beings. He was used as collateral in a gambling game.
Was he though?
By other sentient beings. Yes, he was. Like, was he? Literally. Yes.
I love someone's comment on our TikTok post. He was the world's most spoiled slave.
I mean, kind of.
He was the galaxy's most spoiled slave. Spoiled.
He did have a lot of liberties, and I am fairly certain he kept stealing parts from Guado.
No, 100%.
Kevin, the best thing to think about is, you know why Anakin doesn't like sand?
Because it's coarse and gets everywhere.
No, it's because he tried to ride his bike with a little red wagon on the back in the sand and realized he couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah. He picked up a paper route as a kid. When he tried to ride his bike out into Tatooine, he just sunk in the sand. And
no, when he would go steal parts, he would just pick them up off the ground and throw them in the bucket. And now he's a slave.
Oh.
I just love the idea of like kid Anakin on like a pedal hover bike pulling the fuselage for the or the cockpit for the pod racer behind him, just full of junk, just pulling it around Tatooine on bulk pickup day, just throwing everybody's random stuff in the back of the...
I love what Disney did, because like the pod racing died after the first movie. I love what Disney did, where in Mandalorian season 2 episode 1, the other guy that's wearing Boba's armor has one of the engines. They from
his bike like is. I swear it's one of Anakin's engines.
They said it was an Easter egg to that. So yeah. Season 3 should be soon.
It was the first thing I said when I popped up on screen. I'm like, that's Anakin's pod racing engine.
Which I have
why is he straddling Anakin's pod racing engine? What's happening right now?
I have a theory for the anime thing they're doing in the next few weeks or months or whenever. I feel like Disney's doing this.
Is your theory uwu?
No.
I feel like
it's the fact that I think that Disney's doing this because what they're gonna do is like the ones that do really well, they're gonna hire that studio that did that episode to actually do a series. Hopefully, like that'd be cool for them to do. Is what you do is you test out all these big animators, so like Attack on Titan, Kill la Kill, like all these big animators are doing stuff. Have them do this and then continue the story in full seasons at some point. It'd be hard because it wouldn't be like it's based off a manga, but it would be cool to see, you know.
I'll give that like a 7, like a 7 out. It's like a 4.
What was that last one?
Like a 2.
Okay.
Especially considering it was following a 4.
Well, I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep. Thank you guys. Unless Kevin has more information, because Kevin is the new Andrew this week.
I have nothing.
Okay. Goodbye, my lovers. Goodbye, my friends.
Are we actually done?
Yeah, we could be.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been recording for
an hour.
Yeah,
we can go for 2 hours if you guys want. We could just sit here and stare at each other for another hour.
Yeah, podcast, the movie.
Oh no, that's just a regular podcast. I mean, our old podcasts, like back in the day, were almost 2 hours, some over 2 hours.
No, just anything we do that is more than an hour and a half is whatever it is, the movie. It's just the thing. So it has to be.
I told Andrew I want to do maybe not every month, but like every so often do like we should do like some of the online board games and just do like Life, the movie, and this and that. Because like I don't know what Golf with the movie did, but it was doing really well the first couple days it was out, and like it was annoying as heck to edit. But like that's why it took me over a month to actually release it. But it was like
2.5 hours of just us hitting golf balls and yelling at each other.
Well, no, it was exactly an hour and 42 minutes of filming. But it was 2.5 hours of me, what you just said, us arguing and stuff. I hope he knows my door's locked. Oh. Why do people always leave when we're about to end the podcast? People always walk away. Hi. Oh yeah, Jason. Oh my gosh.
You can't see the thing. Focus. I think I'd have to manually focus it. I'll have to send you a picture, Kevin, because I'm really proud of his eyes. Like, you see how small this thing is, right?
Mm-hmm.
His eyes have whites and blue centers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's
like the line work isn't perfect because I need some better brushes, some finer brushes for like my outlines and stuff. But I'm really proud of his eyes.
You bought more today too.
I did.
At some point, we'll do a D&D session.
I'm not DMing it. I can't. It's too much.
I think we should get like an outside source and the 4 of us play and just enjoy it.
Well, I mean, somebody here had somebody they said would do an online game, and he's never followed up with any of that or let us know if his buddy was willing to do it. You know.
Well, I want to do like a real.
Not point in the elbows.
I want to do like a real session though.
But
like I want to like if Kevin ever came down here, we ever went up there, we ever met in between. I want to get like an actual table with like real pieces on the table, kind of like what Corridor is doing, but not like that cool. I just want to play D&D and just actually enjoy it and not have one person questioning everything. Because Kevin, I don't know if you know anything about it, but Corridor Digital, I don't know if you've ever heard of them. We've talked about that a couple times. They're doing something called Son of a Dungeon.
It disappeared.
And what they're doing is they went with a small camera and 3D scanned an entire D&D board and then filmed on a green screen in Unreal Engine so they could use the background live from the recording, so like it would move with the camera and stuff. And they're playing the game and then putting their characters in the game that are filmed live. So like it's like a really in-depth, you feel like you're in the game, you're watching it as like a movie almost. Them inside the board that they created and stuff, and it comes out in September. So if you want to watch it, I'm probably going to spend $3 a month for their membership program. So Jason and I can watch it.
It just vanished. I just dropped it and it fell into the Feywild or something. It's just gone.
Well, I'm going to go
that.
I'm gonna go help Jason find it. So we'll wrap up and we'll talk to you guys next week with Andrew.
Next week I'll show you guys the Beholder I made. That one came out really well.
Did that one fall too?
No, the beholder's still in the cabinet, actually.
All right. Well, goodbye.
Hold on. That's his beholder.
You can't see it, but each eye has slit pupils and like red veins and everything. These glow.
They glow?
They're like semi-translucent and they glow.
But yeah, awesome. we're gonna wrap up and go about our days. So
I'm gonna try and find the so far unnamed Pelor Knight.
Okay. Bye, guys.
All right.